My first day as a 6th grade substitute teacher, I walked into class and saw every student wearing sunglasses. When I asked why, they said, "You'll see at 2:15. Everyone shouted in unison. I looked around confused and set my bag on the desk. 28 12-year-olds staring at me through dark lenses like a miniature Secret Service. The lesson plan Ms. Stevens had left said nothing about this. I tried to shake it off and started taking attendance, but all the kids were staring into space as if they couldn't see me. The girls were bouncing their heads like bobbleheads while the guys were reaching for the air like they had beef with oxygen. Okay, seriously, what's going on with the eyewear? I asked again, trying to sound like the cool substitute. Nobody answered. They just continued their conversations like I hadn't said anything. What stuck out most was the one kid without glasses. This kid Claxton in the middle row just sat there looking down at his desk. Why was he the only one without them? During my prep period, I found another teacher in the lounge. Hey, quick question. Why are all the kids in room 203 wearing sunglasses? Well, all except one. Mrs. Creamer suddenly became very interested in stirring her coffee. Oh, that's just a thing they do. But why though? And why doesn't Claxton have any? She grabbed her mug and headed for the door. Go to the principal about it. I have copies to make. So I did. Mr. Williams, the kids in my class are all wearing sunglasses except for Claxton, and no one will tell me why. He checked his watch. Well, as long as they're not disrupting learning, I don't see a problem. But if it bothers you, ask the janitors. He cleans that room more than any other. Then he practically jogged away, saying something about a parent phone call he had to take. At lunch, I was refilling my water bottle when the janitor appeared next to me. This older guy named Fonan, who'd probably been here since the school was built. You're the sub in 203, right? He said, without me even having to ask him a word about it. Yeah, just prepare yourself for 2:15. And if the nurse tells you to do something, do what she says. I almost facepalmed. Prepare myself for what? What are you talking about? And why is Claxton the only kid without sunglasses? But he was already wheeling his cart away down the hall. After lunch, the school nurse knocked on my classroom door. Thought you might need these. She pressed a pair of sunglasses into my hand. They were the exact kind all the kids in my class were wearing. I don't understand what's happening. Should I give these to Claxton? He's the only one without any. And what's up with 2:15? Nothing's up, she said quickly. And those glasses are for you. Claxton doesn't need them. She was already walking away before I could ask why. I walked back into my class at 2 p.m., where the kids were sniggering and checking their smartwatches. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed with a call from an unknown number. I stepped into the hallway to answer it. Is this the substitute in room 203? The voice sounded tired. Yes, this is Amanda Walsh. I was the substitute there last week. Listen, I know this is weird, but when 2:15 comes, just go with it, okay? Just put on the sunglasses and go with it. Can you please tell me what happens at 2:15? She paused for a second. The kids figured something out that we adults never could. Claxton is the reason for this. Don't try to change it. Don't interfere with it. Just go with it. She hung up. I walked back into the classroom and looked at the clock. 2:12. The kids were getting fidgety. Some were adjusting their sunglasses. Claxton was still the only one without them. His hands were shaking as he pulled out index cards from his backpack. 2:13. Claxton stood up from his seat. He was skinny with curly hair that stuck up in weird places. His hands were already trembling as he walked to the front of the classroom with his index cards. Still no sunglasses. 2:14. The room was dead silent now. Claxton stood at the front looking at his cards. His face was red and I could see sweat beading on his forehead. Every other kid sat perfectly still behind their dark lenses. 2:15. Claxton looked up at the class and started talking. My presentation is about the water cycle. His voice cracked on the word water. His whole body was shaking. Water starts as precipitation, which falls from clouds. That's when I understood it. Claxton was terrified of public speaking. Beyond a normal kid, nervous. Panic attack level fear. His eyes kept darting around, and every time they did, his voice got smaller and his shaking got worse. But he also couldn't see anyone's eyes. He couldn't see if they were laughing or judging. All he could see was a room full of dark lenses. And all of a sudden, his voice was getting steadier. This is called evaporation, he said. The more he talked, the more confident he became. It turns out that the kids had figured out that if Claxton couldn't see their eyes watching him, he could get through his presentations. I looked around at the other kids. Some had their heads tilted like they were listening. Others were probably not paying attention. But Claxton couldn't tell the difference. As far as he knew, every single person was locked onto his every word. This gave him the confidence to keep speaking. Before I knew it, he was even making jokes, which got a few laughs. I looked down at the sunglasses the nurse had given me, then I put them on. But sadly, that was the biggest mistake I could have made. Suddenly, Claxton stopped speaking and turned to me. I'm not a weird freak, okay? He ran at me suddenly, as everyone took their sunglasses off. Full story on channel linked below.